I think I need my mic to be up higher because what happens is it becomes all in the way of what I'm trying to do. So I think I need it to be higher. Let's see. There we go. I think it needs to be higher. Okay, so we're going on. Hi guys, this is Uncle Dallas. Sorry, I've been kind of out of pocket for the last couple of days, and that is not anybody's fault but mine. And now that we're in pocket and we're actually doing what we need to do, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. The terminology that we're using today is, do you want to be free? And to make sure, yeah, do you want to be free? Now, most of you, if you know me, know that I've lost some weight. Yeah, I really lost some weight. And it has been an interesting reason for me losing the weight, because what I'm watching happen is, how do we hold on to freedom? How do we hold on to freedom? That's the key. If you want to take something into consideration today, you would say, well, how do we hold on to freedom? And number one, how do we hold on to freedom? And number two, what does freedom really look like? Yeah, what does freedom really look like? We say holding on to freedom, and I that's a good terminology, but what does freedom really look like? And what you're going to find is a lot of us have really not wanted to hold on to freedom. We just wanted to be, we didn't want to lose. And it's amazing to me how many people that I've talked to, and I mean recently, I've still done counseling. I've done some counseling just recently, and people have been like, they are holding on to these places that are not beneficial to them. And I'm going to talk about that because I think we've all done it, and we're all dealing with it. But it's going to be really, really crazy when I start talking about this thing, because it's sad. I'll just say that. It's sad. It's sad. So when I got to understanding what's really going on in my life, I thought maybe I need to teach this. I need to talk about this. So now let's start like this. Your spiritual world is an atmosphere. And that atmosphere, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Your spiritual world is an atmosphere. And that atmosphere is what determines what's in your life. There is a passage in Mark that I'm going to share right now, where when Jesus gets off the boat, he sees the man, and it says the man has an unclean spirit. It's in Mark, the 8th chapter, I believe it's the 8th chapter. Let me look it up. And he said the man has an unclean spirit. Mark, the 5th chapter, actually. And it's in Mark, the 5th chapter. And the first one it says, it came to pass as he came over the other side of the Galatians, and when he was come, man, this great, this King English. When he had come out of the ship, immediately there met a man in the tomb, and the man was with an unclean spirit. Now I want you to understand something, because for years we've been taught that thing was in him, but I want you to pay attention to that, because that was like really crazy when I finally looked at it and paid attention to it. And I taught demonology and deliverance, but this is very important. Okay. He said, an unclean spirit with you, and who had dwelled amongst the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains, because that he had been often bound with frittered chains, and plucked them asunder, and he broke the chains, basically the whole thing. Now, so I'm going, okay, what is this man's thing? What's the deal? And so what was going on was he was carrying a spirit with him. He was following the spirit. Now, for most of us, what we have to realize is what you're living, the life that you're living right now, is according to atmosphere. And that atmosphere gives you either free liberty in the spirit or it gives you limitations in the spirit. Now I need you to understand that. So eventually, if you read on down, Jesus basically says, leave. And then there's another place where it says, legion, for we are many. I need you to understand something. When the Bible says in John, the first chapter, he says, as many as receive him, gave he power to become sons of God. You have to realize your atmosphere is not the atmosphere of, I'm now a Christian, or I go to church. Your atmosphere is now an atmosphere that says, I have a life now. There's a path for me, and that path can take me wherever I need to go. But I have to maintain the path. One of the things that I'm watching happen, and I'm talking about, guys, this is you, this is me. We've all done this, and we're doing it now, is maintaining a life that we've created for ourselves that's comfortable enough that we're okay sacrificing in other areas. Okay, so right now, you are supposed to write a book. We'll do that. You're supposed to write a book. And the book you're supposed to write is supposed to help people be free. But you've gotten a job, and you have a job now. And so that job is paying you $150,000 a year. So you're making $150,000 a year at this particular job. But if you start writing books, you may not make the $150,000 a year, but you'll be able to operate in your promise or in the place that God has for you, which will be more fulfilling than having this man or this woman telling you what to do. And that's okay. But here's what happens. There's an old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We attach ourselves to things that keep us from having to push into the things that God has for us. And so what happens is we will maintain the sacrifice of the spiritual things and allow the things that really don't grow us spiritually to maintain positions in our lives, so that we don't have to press or even face ourselves. I actually talked to a friend of mine the other day that was being abused by her husband. And the first thing she said to me, well, not the first thing, so that's not fair, is I don't want to change my lifestyle. So I'm going to stay here so I don't change my lifestyle, because I like the lifestyle that presented with him and me. He's abusive. He's threatened her life. But she said to me out of her mouth, I would rather be in this lifestyle than be without this lifestyle. Now, everybody on this line, everybody listening to me, everybody watching me would think, oh my God, that's crazy. But everybody here does it. Everybody here does it. Instead of eating better, you let people feel sorry for you, because some of you feel that that's the only way that you're going to get any type of sympathy or love. So you say things to your kids, you say things to people to make them feel sorry for you, because that's the only way you feel you're going to get the attention of the people around you. So you sacrifice the atmosphere of God because you feel they don't care. And because they don't care, what you do is put yourself in a lower position, so people will look at you from a lower position and then feel like maybe someone cares about me. Because the care of God doesn't mean anything to you right now. How much God loves you doesn't mean anything to you right now. Right now, you want a carnal feeling, and a feeling that somebody cares about you. And so what you will do is you will sacrifice. No, you won't take your pills, or you won't eat right for your diabetes, because as long as the kids are coming over, the grandkids are coming over, you will still do that. And what you're doing is putting yourself in a position where you're allowing other spirits to be around you. I told you this wasn't going to be easy. Other spirits to be around you. And what happens is you are stopped trusting God, because if you trusted God, that meant you couldn't lean on the fact that, well, I'm sick, and why y'all treat me like... Why? Because you are in a tomb. And only way that things in the tomb are operated is everything in the tomb has to be dead. We're doing this to ourselves. We say we want to be free, but we really don't want to be free. What we want to do is maintain a position of what we enjoy and what we like. And so we hold on to those things that we enjoy, that we like, because we don't want to go to a point where we have to push ourselves to a greater place. We don't want to do that. Because if we do that, there is a slim possibility that God is not God. There is a slim possibility that God is not God. And so we would rather stay bound, connected to the people, the situations, the circumstances that do us no good, but we have at least somebody is paying attention to us. At least somebody is watching us. At least somebody gives us attention. And so we will sacrifice the life that God has for us, all in the name of getting what we want. So I jumped down to Galatians. And if you do this, it's the last chapter of Galatians 5. Galatians 5. And as I go to Galatians 5, I realize that we all want to be free. But we have never been taught how to be free. We've taught how to maintain a look of freedom, but we've never been taught how to be free. Check this out. Chapter 5, we'll start at verse 15. It says, but if you bind and devour one another, take heed that you be consumed one another. Verse 16 says, this I say, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lusts of the flesh. Now, I want you to hear this, and it's going to be fun for some people, and other people it's not going to be too fun. We are lusting after a lifestyle that makes us feel adequate. And so what we will do is sacrifice what we can get done through the Spirit by trying to do it ourselves. Every argument that takes place in a relationship is an argument where one person or the other or both people won't listen to the other people, won't listen to each other. That's all an argument is. An argument is you won't shut up long enough for this person to speak up. Or you won't speak up long enough for this person to hear what you have to say. But in order to do that, we have to treat that person like love. But the things that have happened in our past, those things are so prevalent because we don't want them to happen again. We will sacrifice the relationship, all in the name of throwing narcissism out there, he doesn't listen to me, he's abusive, she doesn't listen to me, she's that. All these things, we'll do these things. Why? Because there is a part of us when Christ got off the boat, he said, what are you doing? Why are you in the tomb? The tomb is not your natural state. That's not where you're naturally. Your natural state is a spiritual state. And that natural state has put you in a position where you are now more powerful than those things. But because you haven't come to know God, you know demons, you know devils and talismans and all these kind of things, but you've never known the Spirit. Why? Because religion is not giving you that opportunity. So you stay around death. When you get sick, you want everybody to know, I'm all right. Why? Because that's the only place you think you're going to get attention, especially if you have kids. I've watched more women and men get into a situation where they will allow their sickness. Have you seen people allowing their sickness to be their only way to get attention? He said, walk in the Spirit, and you should not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these two are contrary one to another. So they that are not, they do not the things that they would. Verse 18. But if you're led by the Spirit, you cannot, if you're led by the Spirit, you're not under the law. I mean, we had the conversation about the law. For the works of the flesh are these. Now, if you want to do this, you can go down to all the different works of the flesh. And all these different works of the flesh will put you in a position. Now, here is where it's crazy. Now, I'm not getting into that anymore. If you want to, go into Galatians and study. I'm going to just talk about me. I'm going to talk about me. So here's the goal. The goal of this whole thing is to create an atmosphere where people can walk in the Spirit and live a spiritual life, and they can begin to live the victory that's within the Spirit. And so within that, my desire was to present a face, a thought, a mindset that will keep you guys moving in the right direction. And so the things that are happening in my life, I pay no attention to them. I ignore them. I overlook them. I keep them. And what I was doing is I was doing what every pastor in this world was doing to you, with a mindset of a good thing, but the deception of a bad thing. I know y'all heard me. I was doing the same deception that pastors have been doing to you for years. Now, I wasn't tricking anybody, fooling anybody, anything like that. But what I was doing is not allowing you to see the fact that I have challenges as well. So what happened is I got COVID. I have COVID. Now, how I got COVID, what happened with COVID, I'm not going to say God did it, I'm not going to say God didn't do it, all this. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there has to be somebody that stands, and this is why I went through this whole process. Somebody that stands and says, I have challenges as well. Things are happening in my relationship, in my family, in my life, just like everybody else. And then allow myself to show you, or allow myself to be seen as one that overcomes. Not one that deals with it and makes it look like it's easy, because it's not. It's not. So I get COVID. I'm down for 3 or 4 days. Down, not can't get out the bed. I press myself to get out of the bed to do certain things, but I'm so weak after that, I can't move. And what I said to myself was, okay, well, I'm not going to get on broadcast and look all broken and sickly and all these kind of things. Why? Because that's not the image I want to put out. But why not? Because there are people right now dealing with stuff. One of you are dealing with stuff right now. You're dealing with sickness. You're dealing with COVID. You're dealing with COVID in your family. You're dealing with financial situations. You're dealing with all these things in your life. And you're trying to figure out how to fix these things kind of in the background so nobody sees that these things need to be fixed, because you don't want to be felt sorry for, but you want these things to be done. The reason I don't start a church is because I don't want to put people in a position where you're going, well, we need to do this and we need to do this and we need to do this, instead of going, let's grow together. So I finally get on. And when I get on, my strength is back. I'm able to talk and I'm able to teach. But I want to apologize, because this is not going to be easy. Now, last night, my breathing was bad. Last night it was breathing. My breathing was bad. I had shortness of breath last night. That's why I was supposed to come on last night. I could barely breathe. And I went into my room and I said, this is not going to take me. Now, I didn't tell anybody. I wasn't going to tell anybody. Why? Because the bottom line is if I'm who I say I am, it's going to be up. And so me, my spirit, my pillow, my meditation, you're going to help me with this, God, and I'm going to battle this thing and fight this thing. I finally fell asleep. I woke up in the morning, my lungs were fine. Fine. But the key becomes you and I are to fight a battle that is winning. The man in the tomb listened to perversions of the spirit. He listened to perversions of the spirit. And because he listened to perversions of the spirit, he maintained the life of grave and dead and death. We have to stop being in a position where we want people to feel sorry for us and stop letting God and allow God to fix the situations. I have a situation right now with my daughter. So the same way I pray for my lungs to be clear is the same way that I'm going to pray for my daughter. The same way I'm going to pray for you. The same way I'm going to show you how to get free from those things. You don't need to hold on to devilish, demonish lies to get God to move. God does not feel sorry for you because you're sad. God doesn't feel sorry for you because nobody cares about you. Because his care about you is greater than anybody else's care about you. And so we have to stop making ourselves these poor, woe is me people and start going, God, I'm too powerful to let this thing take me down. Period. I was not going to let this thing take me down. But in my attempt to make sure that no one felt sorry for me, I left people that might have been dealing with COVID. I left them in a position where they feel like, well, I guess something's wrong with me because COVID got me. No, nothing's wrong with you. There are three major atmospheres in your life. There's your spiritual atmosphere, there's your mental atmosphere, and your physical atmosphere. Your spiritual atmosphere, which is the atmosphere that runs your life, has the solutions for every problem. Whether it's you go and get some Mucinex or you drinking lemon water, there is a spiritual solution for what takes place in your body. But if you allow yourself to be pitied, you don't put yourself in the power of strength. Because what pity says is I want the world to feel sorry for me and I want them to help me. But when you start going, it's God. It belongs to God. And then we figure out how to fix the problem. And in some cases, let go. Some junk you have to let go of. You just have to let go of it. Because we still hold on to things that make us feel valuable. We hold on to clothing and friends and cars and all these different things because we want to feel valuable. The young lady said, I don't want to lose my position. This man has all but threatened to kill her. But because she doesn't want to lose her position, she's just as bad as the person standing in the tomb right now. The mentoring group is not so we could be better than other people. It's so that when people come together and we gather together, that we can say, I have a challenge. Somebody that has a gift of healing can pray for me. I have a challenge. Somebody that has a gift to prosper, that means things prosper in their hands, they can pray for me. It's a way of us being in a position where we are a body. See, when Christ was here, he was here as the body. The deity of Christ took the Jesus, which was the humanity, and the deity of Christ and said, this is how we live our lives. We live our lives together as one. One could put 1,000 to flight, two could put 10,000 to flight. But we had to get to a point that we were a life together, not a life apart. Because nobody wants to know what somebody else has done. I remember I got on here the first time and I was talking and the guy said, what about money? I mean, you go, oh, here we go about money. And I stopped backing up because I'm going, oh no, I don't want them to think I'm here about money. So I let some demon-minded man or demon-minded person stop me from saying the honest to God truth that's happening in my life. So now, whatever financial situations I'm dealing with, I can't say anything about them because they've demonized me because I don't have financial problems. I'm not wealthy by any stretch of the imagination. This is a mandate from God. What I do is a mandate from God. It's not a mandate because of what I like and what I dislike and who likes me and who doesn't like me. It's a mandate from God. And so the pressure of the pressure that comes with the relationship of starting something like this, the pressure of being able to write and type and do all the different things, all those pressures fall on me. Now, do I want you to feel sorry for me? No, by no stretch of the imagination. What I want you to do is realize that whatever you're going to do in your life is going to take a drive. It's going to take a push. It's going to take you being vulnerable sometimes. It's going to take you saying something to people that they don't want to hear. But the bottom line is, it is the truth anyway. It's going to take you not letting people feel sorry for you, not feeling sorry for yourself, realizing that no matter what this solution is, God's going to create the solution. I had to let people understand that because we are battling a battle. Right now, my grandkids are in the other room on the bed. And they didn't sleep last night very little. They slept very little last night, so did I. And I watched them as they played and they enjoyed themselves. And I realized that when we get to a point in our lives that the world does not dictate how we view each other. Some of you wearing hair weave because you think you look terrible with short hair because someone has said something to you. Some of you wear nails because you think that makes you feel more girly. You're dealing with inward battles right now. And those battles that you're dealing with, inward battles, I get calls every day. Your one-on-one calls with me, I get one-on-one calls every day. And I've gotten them from the point of people wanting to take their lives to the point of people that feel like they just want to give up. And in the midst of all of that, I'm able to speak because I don't rely on my circumstance to speak. I don't rely on my situation to speak. I rely on my spirit to speak. And the spirit will speak as long as I allow the atmosphere to remain. Because I'm going to get out of the tomb. You're going to get out of your tomb. You're not going to determine your life by the sadness of, oh, I never did this, or by what you have wished you had done in your past. I wish I'd done this when I was when I was in high school. I wish I'd done this when I was in, all of that stuff doesn't make a difference. The battle you have right now is being powerful enough to overcome the things that you're dealing with right now. That's your battle. Your battle is not the fact that people like you or don't like you. The battle is the fact that I am going to walk in my power. And guess what walking in your power means? Meaning sometimes you call and say, I need help. That's what it means. It means sometimes I need help. I have watched pastors utilize the benefit of being a part of a congregation for their own personal bank. But I'm talking to a friend of mine who is actually a pastor and leader. He said, you do know that people come together to maintain a position so that the leader can maintain his connection to God. And I said, yeah. He said it's their job to maintain that position. And I said, well, no. He said, no, it is. It is. Jesus did nothing. As a matter of fact, all Jesus did was made sure he stayed in a position for God, in the position of God. That's all he did. He made sure he stayed in that position. You're watching people right now that are utilizing their ability to go, I know the word, I've studied this and I've studied that, and they're not pointing toward the Spirit. And so what's happening in your life right now is in an uproar, it's in an upheaval. And I'm going to give you how to get out of it. Number one, be transparent. Not with everybody around, just you and God. God, I'm afraid. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen today after tomorrow. I'm afraid. Now, not the spirit of fear, the apprehension of not knowing what's next. So I have to trust you, God. I don't know. God didn't bring you here. He didn't bring me here to die of COVID. I'm already confident of that. There's no ifs, ands, no buts about that. Be transparent. Pray ye one for another. You guys are on here, you're on my calls and my things. Grab a name. They don't need to know. Grab a name and you take that name and let that name be your assignment of prayer. That's who you're going to pray for. There are people that have financial problems that are so large right now, if they said it, most of you would back away. I have financial challenges. I have things I got to get done because it's bills, it's life. But I realize the people that I deal with right now in my mentoring group, they're at a certain level. And the goal is to get you to the next level. Be transparent. That's number one. Number two, be faithful to the prayer. Bring completion. Don't stop praying till you see something happen. Don't stop praying till you see something happen. Number one, be transparent. Number two, be faithful until you see something happen. Number three, and most importantly of all, don't doubt God because of how you feel about yourself. Don't doubt God because of how you feel about yourself. Your personal feelings are determined by your atmosphere of your raising, of your upbringing. That's how you determine it. I'm 6'6". I don't know how big I am now. I lost about 25 pounds. I'm 6'6". In my world, when I was younger, people saw me and immediately they thought I played basketball. If I said I didn't like basketball, they looked at me like I was crazy because the atmosphere of a tall person dictates you play sports, whether it's football or basketball or baseball. So within that, you can't let how you feel about yourself determine whether God's going to do whatever God's going to do in your life. You can't. It feels funny, it feels strange, but you can't. Because most of us have dealt with it over the years where we've had some outside force control the movement of our lives, whether it's religion, a job, past hurts, past disappointments, how we feel when it comes to, I don't want to be in front of people, I don't want people to think, and all of those things are not God's perfect will for you. But we'll let them be our lives. We'll turn them into personal attributes because we don't want to feel like we are out there. We don't want people to think that we think we're all that. You stay with this spiritual mentoring class and you will be. That's just the way that is. Stay in this position. But you have to realize that definitions are given and those definitions have hindered you. Right now, if your best friend calls you up and says, oh, you're being kind of preachy. Instead of because you're right, I'm being very preachy because you need very preachy right now. We will withdraw an attack of honesty. We will back away from who we actually are because of how people will judge us. But the word preachy has all of a sudden had a bad connotation. Stop. Just stop. It's what you say. It's what you believe. They'll share their mess with you. Every person in the LGBTQ community wants to show you how they can dress and how they can act instead of going, you know what, I love you enough that I respect your position because I want you to respect my position. But you won't stand and be who you are. I believe in healing. Well, here you go with that religious. Call it what you will. But why if I'm speaking something that's going to help you be free, if I'm speaking something that's going to transform your life or change who you are, am I a bad person? Why am I a bad person? Because I believe your life should be better. Why am I a bad person? Because I know that there are things that can change your life. And because I'm saying something, you look at me like you're crazy. Why am I a bad person? Because I say, hey, listen, this class costs you $100. When somebody will call you tomorrow and go, it's going to cost $400 to put tires on your car and your car doesn't take you any place spiritual. Somebody's going to call you tomorrow and go, hey, man, you want to go to this school and this school does absolutely nothing for you. But if I say something like that, I'm being all about money. Because we have placed ourselves in a position where the world has determined how we can live our lives as free or not. I need $10,000 today, not tomorrow, not next week, in an hour or so. Is that a bad thing? Am I a bad person because I need that? Somebody right now needs $5,000 today. And they wish they could get on here and say, hey, everybody that's following me, send me $15 and I might answer the question to my problem will be over. But the selfish part of us goes, well, I'm not. There are people that need healing right now, today. And there are people that should be praying for the person. But my situation is more important than your situation. So we're not praying. I'm going to pray before I get off this call. I'm going to pray. Why? Because we've been taught the selfish nature of the things that have hurt us is what we do to people now. Most women that have been abused by men and verbal, emotional, tend to abuse the next man because they couldn't deal with the man that abused them. So they take the abuse and they give it to the next man. Same situation when it comes to men. Get transparent. Get free. God is real. He's real. Somebody on this call knows that when they pray, somebody gets healed. But you don't want anybody to know that healing is in you. You don't want anybody to know that when you pray, things happen. You don't want anybody to know that you see angels and that you dance in your room because you're so happy to be in the presence of God. You don't want to know all that. Why? Because that's embarrassing. To be spiritual is embarrassing. So, everybody that can, type, I want to be free. No, don't type, I want to be free. Type, I'm going to be free. I'm going to be free. Whatever I have to let go of, whatever I have to put aside, I'm going to be free. Type it. You can do it. It's okay. I'm going to be free. You're going to stop letting the world dictate what your freedom looks like. You're going to stop letting people tell you you can or cannot be free. You're going to stop being embarrassed to have challenges and feel like you need to ask for help. It's okay. You're going to stop letting folks tell you that you're a bad person because your credit is not what your credit should be and you're a terrible person. That's what the world says. You are going to be free. I am going to be free. Period. Why? Because if you are a spiritual being, which you are, that means you have access to everything that heaven has to offer. And now your goal is to access it. Your goal is to access it. That's your whole goal. Your goal is not to be somebody's best friend about it or non-best friend about it. Your goal is to be free and help whoever wants to be free to be free. Let go of your financial mindset. Let go of past relationships, what people said about you. You're beautiful. I don't care what they say, you're beautiful. Now, if you don't feel beautiful, then make yourself beautiful. You don't feel like you're overweight, then lose weight. You have the power to do that. But stop allowing yourself to be defined by the junk in your past and the situations in your past. You are not that person. You're not. If you have challenges, then pray your challenges through. If God tells you to ask somebody, ask them. Dude, the Lord dropped you in my spirit. If they say no, don't feel bad. That's just the way it is. That's the life that you live. Stop define, I'm a terrible person. Listen, today, everybody repent and start from here. Father, right now, God, everything we tried in our personal power has put us in a position where we're now having to trust only in you. Trust only you. We can't trust anybody else. Our needs are too big. Our situations are too vast. Your power is more than we can use. It's beyond anything that we have. So today we ask you to forgive us for whatever situation that has happened, whatever circumstance that has taken place. We ask you to forgive us. We ask you to release us from the bounds of our past. Remove us from the tombs of our lives, all the dead situations that have happened in our lives. We thank you that whatever we've done, that you've cast it into the sea of forgetfulness. Now, put us in the right direction, God. Whatever we have to let go of, we'll let go of it. Whatever situations that we have to let go of, God, we'll let go of those situations. Because, God, you are the one that helps us. It is not our church. It is not our religion. It's not our people. I miss my sister. I miss my daughter. I miss my son. I miss the parts of me that are able to call out and they're answering and they're there when I need them. I know that. I know there are people that have missed the time in their lives where they wish they had thought about it something or did something different or changed directions or not made that mistake they made. But God, I bless you. I bless you that the mistakes of our past are not the destination of our future. Reveal yourself through your spiritual light, angels, and show us who you actually are, God. Those needs that we have right now, we thank you, God, that you satisfy those needs in our lives. You satisfy each and every need because we are here because of you, Father. We're not here because we're better than anybody else or we're less than anybody else. We're here because our spiritual life is determined by a God that's greater. You are our power. You are our strength. You are our love. Love us like we've never been loved before. Watch over us like we've never been cared for. And we'll trust you, Father, because you will not allow us to fall. We lean on the rock that's higher than ourselves. We don't lean on our past. We don't lean on our detriment. We don't lean on our pain. We lean on the fact that, God, you're going to bring us out. And we'll be here to trust you and believe in you. We love you. Amen. Amen. It's a hard road living a life in the Spirit because we have so many things in our past that have defined us for so many years that we made decisions by those definitions. We married guys that they were because they were thugs or they were hard, or we married girls because they were fine. We took jobs because it gave us a certain amount of money because we didn't want to fail. We went through all these processes of our lives. And now we're in a situation where our life seems to be in an uproar. It seems like it's all over the place. But I'm going to say this to you. God's got you. God's got you. He's got you. He's got you. He's got you. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns? We're going to turn the YouTube off and the Facebook and the Instagram. It's going off. We're going to leave that there, and we're going to do our Q&A when it comes to TikTok. So if you can get on TikTok, get on TikTok. We're going to do our Q&A. Those of you that have that got the email, we are going to probably tonight get into this a little bit deeper. This was just the public. Yeah. We're going to get into this a little bit deeper. Normally I do Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But because of the COVID, I did it today. So you can watch this over and over again. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm back on the horse, and I'm doing my very best. I was told I need to get some Mucinex Super or something. I think it's supposed to get the rest of the mucus out of my chest. But I'm fine. I'm doing well. Trying to stay warm. Trying to stay clear. Keep me lifted in prayer. Lifted in prayer. Don't pray, oh God, heal him. Pray, God, keep him strong. Keep him strong. Keep him strong. That's it. They keep him strong. Keep your prayers going, because I need you just as strong. Just as strong. I told you what I have need of. I'm in that still prayer. So you do your thing. All right. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You guys, I appreciate you. I will see you on tonight, or I'll see you on tomorrow. All right. I love you guys very much. Have a good day. I hope this helped you. Make sure, if you feel like this has blessed you, make sure you, like I said, subscribe to the YouTube page. If you want to be a part of the mentoring group, if you're not a part of it, leave me a link down there, and you should already have gotten a link from me. Make sure, if you feel like you feel a blessing to this, or you want to be a blessing to whatever, please make sure you are a part of, just send something through Cash App or that kind of thing. All right, guys, I love you very much.